At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Don't ask me to talk.
And welcome to another edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Ryder.
Hey, I'm the other one. I am Stacey Heller. We so appreciate that you are listening to the show, whether it's on the radio or via podcast. I just want you to know we appreciate you.
Absolutely,
Right?
We do. Yeah.
I mean,
without you, we're nothing.
Well, we're just talking heads then.
That's right. Yes.
Although it does raise the question, like,
I'd love to be a talking head, though. You know,
right? I mean, Eric,
right?
you just
Chris
have to
Franz
stop making
and Tina
sense.
Weymouth and just Jerry Harrison. Let's get together.
Well, yeah, that's a whole thing. I was just talking about that.
Oddly enough, David Byrne is coming to town and playing a show on my birthday.
Really? For your birthday?
Yes. This is the big one, so I figure you gotta bring out the big guns.
There you go. Yeah, you're gonna go
investing
out
all
with a
the money
bang.
that I have in my life to get him to do a performance at the Paramount that anybody can go to.
Right. That does not seem like you. That is not a pragmatic. Okay, but if you could have somebody play at your 50th, because I assume that's what you mean by the big one, unless you mean
I
like
was joking.
World War
So
III.
the 50th has already happened. Yes.
I know,
This would be the 52nd.
I know, but I'm going with the bit. Like, you got to just go with me.
Sure.
So if you could have somebody play at your birthday party, who would you have play?
If I could go back in time.
Okay.
Have somebody play my birthday party.
If you could have a huge, or not even, I don't think that's your vibe. If you could have a lovely 52nd birthday party, who would you want to play at your party?
Well, you know, they do these like curated music festivals in London. One of them's called a Meltdown, where they get an artist to like curate the festival, and they just book like whoever their dream artists would be to play a festival. And some have, just got people that have long since broken up to get back together and play a show just for these festivals. And I always thought that was so cool.
That's
that's
cool.
Like my dream in life would be to curate a Meltdown. And like Jarvis Cocker from Pulp has done it, for instance. And, he had some very cool people. So there's a lot of like artists that people probably don't know all that well.
That doesn't matter.
I would love,
it's your birthday.
Exactly. Yeah. So for my Meltdown on my 52nd birthday, there's a band called Pony Club from Dublin that I've never seen live. And I would, in a heartbeat, buy a ticket to fly over there if I had enough warning and go see them, because they're one of my favorite groups of all time. And, they've become like so obscure that they don't even do gigs anymore. So, it's a real shame. So I would get them to play. There's a few others like that, again, people over here don't know, but the Wooden Tops, another band that I would love to get to play this thing. So I would get, some of my favorite like obscure groups that I've never had the chance to see live, and get them to play. Yeah, I think that would be totally fun.
I love that. That's so fun. And it's like, it is for you, right? Like, you get to choose. I've never heard of a Meltdown. I think that's cool. And Pony Club. So how do you feel about Chapel Rowan having the Pink Pony Club?
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. It just, I'm sure it makes it more confusing for people trying to seek out the Dublin Pony Club. But this is not the first time it's been a problem for them, because there was a band back in the early 2000s that were called New Young Pony Club. And so that was already confusing. And the singer was like, well, I guess we'll be the old decrepit pony club. So I love that.
Perfect response.
And now I think there's a group called Slow Pony Club. So it's like, it's just, it was a name at the time that nobody else would have thought of.
Of course.
But since then, it's like become like a default thing for people for some reason. Yeah.
Right. Interesting. That's really funny. I love the names that are apropos of nothing, but then like they become something, and then, you know, like, let's see how creative people can get with it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right. That's good. I think if I could do something like that, I think I would see if Billy Joel could come and do a concert. I think I'm feeling sentimental because of
mine's going to be a lot more affordable than yours.
Well, we didn't say that there was like this is Fantasyland that we're in.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I think there's a movie out right now that's either on Hulu or Peacock that is all about a guy wins the lottery and he gets his favorite band back together to play a show for him. That I haven't watched this yet, but it looks really fun.
It's right up your alley.
Exactly. This is exactly what I would do with lottery winnings. And we talked
about that a couple episodes ago.
But I think I neglected to mention that I would put on my own music festival with all my obscure favorites that nobody else would come to but me. But I would not care. So yeah, this would totally have happened. So this is funny that we're just stumbling on this because it is kind of in the zeitgeist at the moment.
That's kind of amazing. Like, what a good way in hindsight to use your lottery winnings. I mean, like, there's all the practical things, but like, that's a good idea. I mean, yeah. So I guess I'm in my fantasy land. Money is not an object, and I'm feeling sentimental and nostalgic because Billy Joel, with his recent diagnosis, who knows if he'll be able to perform again, and his music is just so much the soundtrack of like everything from like all parts of my upbringing. I mean, I think I would be like singing along to every song badly, very badly, but it would just be really enjoyable.
Just you and him in Madison Square Garden swaying around to scenes from an Italian restaurant.
I mean, maybe I would have the people at my party come to this performance.
Right.
I mean, you know. But essentially, yes, that would be the case. He doesn't have to put up the full stage and everything. Everybody can just be on the floor of Madison Square Garden, and I'm on the basketball court and I'm dancing, and it's great.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah. So. Anyway,
I had no idea that you were a Billy Joel fan, so that's an interesting pick from you.
Yeah, like there's so many different bands. Like I don't have the depth and breadth of knowledge of music that you have, and so for me, okay, this is kind of a funny story. Let me answer the first thing. So for me, he is so much woven into life and to my life. And yes, I just
leave her alone. It's her life.
Exactly. And so it just makes sense. But so as our longtime listeners know, I am currently at the lake house. And right now we are getting ready for the Independence Day holiday. And I have a couple of the kids have already arrived, and Grace brought a couple of friends. Well, a song came on last night, and Grace's friend said, "Is this the Wiggles?" And I was like, "This is the Beatles." And so I was like, oh, you're never living that down. And sure enough, fast forward to this morning.
In my house, this is how that would have went down. Is this the Beatles? This is the Ruddles. Get it right. But
Yep. But in our house, it was, is
Yes.
this the Wiggles? And it was like, no, this is not fruit salad. Yummy, yummy.
right.
And I don't remember what the song was. I
This is
think
Strawberry Fields Forever.
it was like, I think it was either Yellow Submarine or Octopus's Garden, which honestly, fair, right?
Yes. Both of those sound like they could be kid songs.
100%. So then this morning, I was whipping up some scrambled eggs because, that's me. And I made some comment like,
Singing scrambled eggs to the tune of Yesterday,
no,
like Paul McCartney did originally.
that's funny. No. No, I said something like, somebody said like, oh, look at you, like the egg person or egg woman. And I was like, no, I am the egg man. Cuckoo,
Cuckoo,
cuckoo.
cuckoo.
And so then I started singing that, and she's like, what is that? I'm like, it's a Wiggles song.
Exactly. It could be. I mean, that is one of the most nonsense songs that they ever did. I am the walrus.
100%.
Yes, I'm the
And
Eggman.
then, of course, I had to put the music onto like the speaker, and I had put it up on the TV, playing Spotify through the TV. And so there's a picture of the Beatles back in like the 70s. And Grace was like, they weren't an attractive group, were they? And I was like, well, Paul McCartney was the cute one. And she was like, I don't know about that. And then hot take, Grace and Haley both thought that George Harrison was the cute one.
He is the dark horse.
He is a dark horse. And so they were like, and, I think thanks to Benson Boone, mustaches are having a resurgence among young women.
Ugh.
And hey, if you want to attract a 20-something-year-old woman and move on from the girlfriend, just get a mustache that makes you look like either a swarthy pirate or a pedophile.
Right. Yes.
So yeah,
I'm going to start a porn empire in the 70s.
Exactly. So anyway, it was very funny. I will get many years of laughter over the fact that the Beatles are now being reduced down to the Wiggles.
Wow. Well, their influence just continues to reverberate through the decades.
Absolutely.
In strange and different forms.
It was my pleasure to be able to educate someone else about this.
Yes.
So,
anyway. Well, it sounds like you're having fun, and hopefully you have a good 4th. Do they do a big fireworks show there at the lake?
So we get to double dip. So July 1st is Canada Day, and where we have our house, we are on essentially the border of Canada. So while we couldn't see the display, I suppose if I had turned around in my chair outside, maybe I could have seen the display. We could hear it, and it was spectacular. And
that sounds like the worst of all worlds.
Here's the thing. If you have a dog like Gertie Girl, and I'm sure that it was just horrific, but I don't know, there's something, it puts festivity in the air, right? So there is a small display that happens on the beach. So where we have our place, Veranda Beach Resort, you should check it out. You can rent cottages there, people. There is a display that they put off. You can buy fireworks legally in town. There's a spot where you can buy them. And we have sort of a fireworks master, if you will, so that it's only one person that's setting them off as opposed to a melee. And that's really fun. But then the town of Oroville, where this place is located, they also have a display that they set off. And that's at the end of the lake. So we get a really nice view of that as well.
Wow. That reminds me, there was a fireworks factory in California this week that just blew up.
No way.
And yes, yeah. Hopefully nobody was hurt, but it looks spectacular. It was all inflamed, but you could see fireworks going pew, 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 flying all over the place.
I mean, that is
feel
the
bad
stuff
for
that memes
any
are
dog
made
in the
of.
area, but yes, that's exactly. Yeah, and a couple days early, but yeah, So I encourage you, if you have a chance, to look up that video because it's pretty impressive to see, but also very scary. And
Oh my gosh, yeah.
yeah, bless
I
the
have like
firefighters that went in on that.
I have an overlay of like, and the rockets, red glare being sung in the background with the bombs bursting in the air. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope nobody was hurt, but I will definitely
Same.
check that out. What are your plans besides staying with Gertie?
Well, yeah, Gertie's been a bit of a handful this week, maybe in anticipation of what's coming.
Does she need some doggy CBD?
Possibly, yes. Maybe she needs that on a daily basis because she's been getting into some trouble.
Really? What kind of trouble?
Well, yesterday she came in and I'm like, why do you stink? What? You just had a bath 2 days ago. And she just like reeked. And I'm like, what the heck? So I took her up and gave her a bath. And she was incredulous that she had to have 2 baths in the same week.
The indignity.
Yeah, exactly. But I, got her clean best I could. I think even this morning she still kind of smelled because of this. And I had no idea why she was wet and why she stunk. Until this morning when I go out in the backyard and I see one of the fly traps that we have in the hanging from the trees was down on the ground and punctured. And I think she was rolling on the fly trap and got wet with the gross fly water on her fur.
Oh,
it was like one of the grossest things ever. I'm like, what are you, some kind of animal?
Oh, Gertie, that's just...
Yeah.
Oh.
So, good thing she's cute. She gets away with murder because I might have murdered her otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
So I have no idea if she figured out a way how to yank this trap out of the tree, or if, the wind or something somehow knocked it out. I don't know, but
I mean, she's short-statured.
She is, but she can jump.
Really?
She's surprisingly, yeah, when she's trying to get into the house, she'll jump up trying to get to the doorknob. And it's really cute. But also, like, wow, I didn't know you could move like that. Spends most of her day asleep. So anytime she exerts herself physically, it's surprising to me.
Well, honestly, that's what they say about me as well.
Yeah. So despite the movie, short dogs can jump.
Aw, you're a little air bud.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So then do you have to okay, so as a responsible dog owner, can you go out on the 4th? Like, what do you do? Yeah,
we usually go out, but we usually try and make sure that, all the windows are closed and put on the AC for her so she's nice and cool. And then, she just goes up into the most kind of shielded part of the house, which is the hallway upstairs, and then just kind of takes a nap. And we do give her some relaxing supplements, some calming supplements that seem to help. So yeah, she does fine. She doesn't like it, obviously, but I don't know that us being there would be much different for her. So, and then the worst part of the fireworks usually comes after the city's display, when there's dumb idiots shooting them off randomly at all hours of the night for the next several days. And then we're there with her for that. So,
yep. It's the worst. It's like, I don't know. There's so many things that I could say about it. Like, I could do a little rant about it, but you know what? Honestly, it's not worth it. It's not worth the airtime. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say,
Exactly.
Especially these days when it's like everything starts a fire of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, you never know when a fireworks factory, for instance, is going to go up in flames
I
because
really
of
need to
your
look this up.
irresponsible actions.
Yeah, do they know what started it?
All I saw was the footage of the fire, so I don't think they know. Boy, that would be hard to track down.
Right? Like, how do you even,
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's like, talk about a tinderbox. Like, that's just
Right.
crazy.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, my big news is that I think I'm going to have my ankle amputated.
Oh, no.
Okay. I know I have a flair for the dramatic.
Yes. But you're especially proud of your ankles, too. So this would be a real blow.
I'd be down to one.
Right.
So I don't know what the deal is. And actually, maybe I need to ask for advice from Dear Krabby today. Maybe I need you to tell me, is this arthritis? Is this what I'm destined for a fate of? I don't know what's going on. This happened to me back a few months ago when I went to Cabo. I really found that my legs and my ankles were hurting. They were super stiff. I was really struggling with walking comfortably. And I thought, you know what? It's probably because I'm wearing these cheap shoes, these slides from like Target or flip-flops or whatever. So I started wearing sneakers and shoes that had more support. And that was great. My feet were feeling better.
Yeah.
And I've actually continued that. And then suddenly last week, instead of it being in both legs, it's in my right leg. And there's just a stiffness there. Like, you know how you flex your feet and you kind of like roll your ankles around and maybe your ankles pop or like whatever. I feel like my ankles are really, really stiff and I can't do that. And I don't know what the deal is. And sure enough, there's some swelling on that foot. I wondered if it was gout. But apparently gout is like, it usually radiates from the toes, but I'm like, okay, but maybe. But apparently that's really hot to the touch and tender to the touch. This is not those things.
This is you on WebMD last night trying to figure this out.
This is my husband. Like, are you drinking too much? Is that what this is about? Because, it could be gout. I'm like, you know what?
Right.
F you, dude. I'm not drinking that much. And it's not gout, but thank you. This is also how I concluded.
Well, in fairness to him, it does sound like gout.
Yeah, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not. Based on my extensive work as a doctor, I'm pretty sure it's not. So then the next thing that I thought of is like arthritis, because the swelling and the stiffness and that kind of thing. But I'm like, so am I destined to be that person that has to be on like in a cart, like going around places? Like, it is making it very difficult for me to walk around. I'm dragging my foot like the guy, like Igor in Young Frankenstein.
Right.
Like, it's terrible.
Now, have you been, I'm just taking a shot in the dark here, but have you been like screened for diabetes at all?
Say what now?
Well, it just seems like diabetes is another thing that could affect something like that. Yeah. People get like their feet amputated because
this was all fun and games.
I mean, I hope it's not this, but it's something that maybe that the docs will give you advice on, hopefully.
Holy moly.
This is just a stab in the dark. I'm not a medical professional by any stretch, but that's just one thing that I thought of because of this. But it sounds
I
like
had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant, and like,
oh, wow.
Honestly, yeah. So it's not that far fetched. So I would like to change the subject now.
Okay. Well, we are about due for a break, but I do think my advice from Dear Krabby to you is to go to the doctor, and it sounds like you're doing that.
I am.
Yep. And, we're not medical professionals, and neither is Dear Krabby. She's Dear Krabby, not Dr. Krabby.
Correct. Correct.
So I think, involving a medical professional in the conversation before jumping to any real conclusions is probably the best bet.
100%. Because the world needs my ankles.
But, it just goes to show that, those, eating healthy is important and lifestyle changes are important. And, trying to encourage those is always a good thing. So let's leave it at that.
All right. I love it.
Let's hobble into this break now.
Great. That sounds awesome.
All
right.
If people have questions or want advice from Dear Krabby, they should shoot us an email at asking@don'taskmetotalk.com. Or, of course, people could call or text us, leave a voicemail or shoot us a text, or even email us a voice message if you like. But if they want to use the phone number, what is that?
Well, thank you for asking. While I still have a voice, it's 475-999-2726. Yeah, 100%. If you have any ideas what my affliction may be, and let's try to keep it fantastical and not realistic.
Yeah, I guess I broke the first rule of this show, which is, this is about tuning out of serious stuff for an hour. So, yeah.
Wait.
Yes.
Now I'm looking it up on my phone. I'm distracted. We got to go to break.
All right. We'll be right back with more Don't Ask Me to Talk. This is Eric Ryder reminding you to follow us on Facebook. We're at Don't Ask Me to Talk, and we're on Instagram, again, at Don't Ask Me to Talk. We'd love to hear from you, so check us out on social media and leave us a comment. Leave us a like. Remember, you can always email us directly at asking@don'taskmetotalk.com or leave us a voicemail or text at 475-999-2726. That's 475-999-2726. And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Ryder.
I am the other one. I am Stacey Heller, she who has the amazing ankles. I walked it off. I'm feeling better. I'm ready to get back into it.
Awesome. Well, this is the time of the show normally where we do our Dear Krabby advice or answer a question from a listener, but we kind of tackled that in the first section. So we'll just encourage folks to send us your questions for next week's show and beyond. We'd love to hear from you, of course. So then the other thing that we normally tackle with this segment is cultural blind spots. And I got to one this week. How about you?
I did not. I don't think I did.
You've been busy, it sounds like.
Well, I've been super busy. And here's what's really interesting. It's this week what I was reminded of, and of course, I'm going to give you time to talk about yours, but I had a reflective moment where cultural blind spots are also kind of about ages and stages, because I was listening to the kids talking about like various music things, right? They were talking about Sabrina Carpenter's new album, Man-Child, and the song, and like
Isn't
how
the song is Man-Child.
The song is Man-Child.
The album is Man's Best Friend,
is,
I think.
Yeah. Right. And it's a very controversial album cover and this whole thing. And it's so interesting because in a way, that's a more like a cultural blind spot can be something that is like, as you say, it's in the zeitgeist and it could be from forever ago, but it can also be something that's current. And it's funny how as you get older, you suddenly start to get like these blinders on where you're like, I don't need more input. I don't need to know about like the next like darling of radio. I don't need to know the next boy band. I don't need to know the next trend. I just want Billy Joel at my birthday.
Fair enough.
It made me though reflective because I was thinking about, as you get older, then you start to have blind spots in the present moment. Mm-hmm. And I was not really down with that. So I was like, do I need to pay more attention to things? So I listened to the song and I was like, actually, it's kind of clever. So
I think I actually, oddly enough, listened to that yesterday too.
And?
Well, I thought it was all right. The video is interesting.
A pop song.
Yeah, the video is interesting because it's like, it seems like scenes from a movie that doesn't exist. And I thought they did a very clever job with it.
I haven't seen the video. I
yeah.
just listened to the song. We did it the old-fashioned way.
Well, the video is kind of cheeky, if you know what I mean.
Okay. All right. Now I gotta watch it.
Piqued my interest.
Fair. And honestly, same.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I appreciate art of all kinds. So, okay, so what is your cultural blind spot that you checked off?
Okay, so you're down with the kids, and I am going the complete opposite direction.
Oh, tell me.
And I watched Vertigo, the Alfred Hitchcock movie, Vertigo, the last couple days.
It's so much more fun than the actual affliction.
Oh, sure.
My mother has vertigo.
Well, I mean, is it? I mean, if you were living within the movie, Jimmy Stewart, starring in the movie, does suffer from vertigo, nearly falls from a roof, and then gets obsessed with a woman who he thinks commits suicide. But turns out that she was playing him to cover up a murder. So I think I'd rather live with actual vertigo than his life.
Okay,
at this point.
That is fair.
But you're right in that just watching the movie is a better experience than feeling dizzy and falling down.
Yeah, what did you think of it?
I'll be honest. I had seen Vertigo before one time when I was much younger, and at the time I thought, okay, because the thing is that in our lifetime it's become. I don't think at the time when it was released, it was considered this masterpiece. But in our lifetime, in the last 30 years or so, it's been elevated to this idea that this is Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece, his best movie. So that's a lot of hype to live up to.
Well, yeah.
And when I saw it the first time, I thought, like, that, clearly this is a soundstage. He's not hanging from a roof. This looks silly to me. And there's a lot of stuff in it that's like a spinning spirograph wheel kind of at the beginning that just,
right.
I'm sure at the time blew people's minds, but to me it just seems
feels like
a little cheesy.
Yeah.
So I kind of dismissed it many, many years ago when I saw it, if I'm honest. Since then, I haven't watched it, but I have watched a whole bunch more of Alfred Hitchcock movies and enjoyed them. And I've kind of gotten past this idea that everything has to look great now. I'm kind of way more accepting of how films looked in the past and what they were trying to convey rather than what they actually conveyed. Just having a much bigger understanding of film now than I did when I was a lot younger, I can just appreciate it a lot more. And sometimes I think like today's film making looks cheesy in comparison to some of the more practical effects that existed in the past.
Honestly, yeah. Like the thing about like Hitchcock movies, and I know what you mean about like the swirling things, it feels very like space theater or like Twilight Zone-y, right? And like gimmicky. Except that they're good like transitions or building up suspense or, like things like that where, like the music really comes into it and there's just a build and, that's something that it's like in modern cinema now, we like, not only do we lead the horse to water, but we're like, here, drink this.
Exactly. Yeah. So this time watching it, I had much more appreciation for it. And I think I enjoyed it a lot more. I'm still not 100% there. I don't think this is his best movie, honestly. And North by Northwest, I think, maybe.
I've never seen that one.
Oh, that is well worth checking out. It's
it?
It's an absolute classic, yeah. And
that's the one with the plane and the field and. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. And Psycho, of course, is very good. And
I never saw that either because I cannot stand a suspenseful, scary movie.
I think you could handle this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a horror
I mean,
movie
I
by
know
any
what
stretch.
I know what the end is, like, if you will. But yeah.
I don't think
And
you know what the end is.
what do you mean?
Well, do you know the twist ending to it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. About his mother
Okay, maybe you do.
and
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there's a lot more stuff in it.
Well, yeah, I mean
Yeah.
how we get there and all of
Right.
that. But
Yeah.
like, yeah. Well, and did he do Bus Stop?
I don't know that
that-
one.
I'll have to look that up. But I mean, famously he did The Birds. Like,
Yep.
he's done a ton of psychological thrillers.
Right. Which
like,
reminds me of when I was a kid. Like, we lived in Northern California, and I very distinctly remember being about like 5 years old and us like driving through Bodega Bay, and my mom being like, "Hey, this is Bodega Bay. This is where they shot The Birds." And me having no context for what the hell she's talking about. The
Oh my
Birds, it's a
God.
movie by Alfred Hitchcock. And she might as well have been saying, "Jibbity blabbity doogadoo." You know? Just like, what are you saying? You
You're
know?
like,
I
what?
haven't watched some movie from the 60s, about birds attacking people.
Oh my gosh.
But, now I think, wow, I kind of like to go back to Bodega Bay and check out some of those sets. And same thing with San Francisco, because this movie really made me really like appreciate the San Francisco scenery. Like, oh wow, I need to go next time I'm in San Francisco and check do these places still exist, because it's beautifully shot, beautiful scenery.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm looking through some of the Hitchcock movies. I don't think that I realized, like, not that these people are contemporaries, if you will, but like, he made a movie with Bruce Dern called Family Plot. I'm like, I think of Alfred Hitchcock as being like long since gone.
I mean, I think he died like in 1980 or around there. So yeah, he made some movies in the 70s that I guess were not his best work. But there are those like 5 or 6 Hitchcock movies that he made after his TV shows that I think, are the ones that everybody still holds up as being these masterpieces. And they're the ones that, you see all these things that are being referenced that you don't necessarily know, oh, that's what that's from, which is something we talk about on this segment a lot. But there's stuff in Vertigo and The Birds and North by Northwest and Catch a Thief and stuff like that is just still reverberating through movies and books and television to this day because of his influence.
Well, and as I'm looking through this, in this segment, you've talked a lot about the James Bond movies. Sean Connery did a movie with him.
Really?
Yeah, called Marnie.
Oh, that's right.
And Tippi Hedren was in that, and wasn't she in the
She
Birds?
was in The Birds, yeah.
And I'm like, girl, didn't you already make a movie with him? Weren't you traumatized? Like, why are you making another movie with him? And apparently he was like kind of like a swarmy old man. But also he did a movie. It was Paul Newman and Julie Andrews. Who knew?
Well, so let me ask you, have you seen Vertigo?
I saw Vertigo years and years ago, similar to you, like as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, my dad was a huge fan of Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, Jimmy Stewart. He stars in it. Yeah.
He loved James Stewart, and his favorite movie that he was in was Harvey with the giant
the rabbit.
Invisible rabbit.
Okay.
Yes, my father loved that. So we were not forced. I mean, it's not like my father like forced us, but we were always encouraged when one of these movies came on, like Channel 11 and the black and white movies and like whatever, to watch these movies. And so I remember seeing it and not completely getting it because, again, it's not really a movie for children. I mean, this is like psychological stuff. But it did make an impression.
Well, I think it's one that you would probably enjoy if you rewatched it. I think Jimmy Stewart, you mentioned him, but I think he was one of my problems with it the first time watching it because, he really has this distinct voice and way of acting that is unlike anybody else. It doesn't really feel realistic to me. I mean, he's perfect for It's a Wonderful Life, but watching Vertigo the first time, it just seemed like George Bailey suddenly has vertigo, and some sexual obsession.
Bowery, I'm feeling tipsy.
Right. He just has that same cadence and delivery with every line that he had as George Bailey. He really didn't. But watching it the second time, I can really start to see more of his, the depth to this character that I just couldn't absorb before. And
I know what you're talking about. The cadence of his voice is so particular, and I think it was part of the filmmaking of that time. But I think of the Philadelphia Story. I loved him in that movie. While he had that cadence and that very bullet delivery, right?
Yeah.
It was hey, what are you doing? And it's that transatlantic vibe.
Yeah.
But that was such a good movie. And it was at times silly and he was sweet and whatever. So I know what you're talking about. I have been enjoying Canopy, which, okay, speaking of that and the kids being around, I thought that I was so cool. I was like, oh, hey, yeah, Eric told me about this thing, Canopy. And Will's like, oh, you mean the thing where you can stream movies from the library? We did that all through middle school and high school so that we could watch movies. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, the teachers would constantly get movies from the library through Canopy so that they could show them in class for references. And I was like, right, sure. Yeah, cool. So it's the Wiggles, right?
Well, it doesn't matter when you get to something. It's, what you do with it when you got it.
Yes. And I am enjoying the fact that there's so many good movies to watch.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say about Jimmy Stewart, he is fantastic in Rear Window, which is another Alfred Hitchcock movie that he stars in. He's just great in that. So I think seeing that in between seeing Vertigo again made me appreciate him a little more as an actor, and especially in the context of a Hitchcock movie. This is, I think Vertigo is a really fun, really strong movie. There are some stuff that definitely still makes me go, what? And a lot of it has to do with his relationship with his best friend, Midge, who I think is just awesome. And, if I was the character of John Ferguson, I would have been like, Midge, we got to get married.
I want you to be my Mary.
You're the whole package, Midge. What am I doing? Chasing around some other man's wife who's a freak. Not to take anything away from Kim Novak, who, again, she is gorgeous, and I did not fully appreciate her performance the first time watching it, but the second time, it was just like, wow, she's so good, and she is so good when she comes back in the role of this Jenny Barton, which is who she really is. She's only been, spoiler, been pretending to be this other character. She is so good at making that a distinct character that I'm just like, wow, Kim Novak. I am so impressed.
Not just another pretty face.
Yeah, I'm only, 60 years late or whatever on appreciating how good she is in this movie. But that's what this is. This has been a blind spot, and I am, erasing that blind spot. And that now I really respect Kim Novak and how great she was in Vertigo. So we all get there in our own time, right?
Well, totally. And, similar to Elton John writing a song about Marilyn Monroe, you could write a song about a dead blonde woman. It could go on to garner you millions and trillions of dollars.
Well, the funny thing is, one of my favorite songs by the band Harvey Danger is called Carlotta Valdez, and it's all about the plot of Vertigo. And so, other people have done this and done a great job. And that's, if you like the movie Vertigo, I would definitely recommend checking out the song Carlotta Valdez by Harvey Danger, because it's great.
All right, I'm literally writing it down. Can you hear it? I take these things that you say very seriously, which, hey, listeners, you should do the same, because when Eric makes these recommendations, they are typically worth checking out. So great news, because this is up as a podcast, you can go back and listen to it, and you can write this ish down, and you will no longer have cultural blind spots. So you're welcome. All right. Speaking of movies, do we want to take a quick break to
Absolutely,
talk about our
yes.
final and most epic topic of the show?
We do. And spoiler, that is the best movie quote. Will it be from Vertigo? I don't know. We'll find out when we come back from the break. So everybody stay with us right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Stacey Heller. I'm one of your podcast pals, along with Eric Ryder from Don't Ask Me to Talk. Are you liking what you're listening to? Awesome. We would love if you would follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram as Don't Ask Me to Talk. We also are wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can follow us, subscribe, like, rate, whatever it is that you do. You can also email us. That's asking@don'taskmetotalk.com. And if you'd like, text or leave us a voicemail at 475-999-2726. Basically, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.
And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm Eric Ryder.
Hey, I'm Stacey Heller. I'm the other one. That's my...
That's right.
I kind of like that as my name. I'm the other one. Okay, so this is the part of the show, as you said before the break, where this is supposed to be the meat, but it tends to be like ribs. It's like there's a lot of bone, and there's just really tasty little morsel of meat at the end of the show.
Yeah, this tends to be the dessert, I think, of the show.
Oh, okay, I like that. That's better.
Yeah, we have it at the end, after having a nice meal of conversation beforehand.
Love that. Love that.
But each week, what we do is we spin a wheel that is loaded with topics, and the wheel helps us select what we're going to be talking about during this segment of the show each week. And the wheel is loaded up with topics by Miss Stacey Heller.
That's me.
And so every week I like to find out what the impetus was behind this particular topic that you put on the wheel. So,
well,
tell us.
I know. I'm waiting. Are you going to ask? So, thank you for sort of asking. So, this was actually inspired by our show and the whole cultural blind spots thing. When we talk about some of the movies that are cultural blind spots.
Wow, we're inspiring ourselves now? Or we the snake Inception. Eating our tail?
We are on Inception.
Okay.
And I was thinking about the number of movies that we either have seen or haven't seen, and the lines that have come out of them. And it almost gets to a point where a line takes on like a whole life of its own.
Yeah.
I mentioned before we started recording today, actually, like Hasta la Vista, baby, right? Like that is a classic movie line. And I mean, I think I've said, like, I haven't watched Terminator 2.
Right.
And you had talked about how when you saw it more recently, you're like, oh, that's where that's from.
Yeah, because the first Terminator has the very famous line, "I'll be back," which everybody quotes, and you can almost not do a Schwarzenegger impression without saying, "I'll be back," right?
Right.
But when it comes up in the movie, it's so nonchalant and so not it's just tossed off like, whatever. Okay, man, sure, he'll be back. Who cares? And then it's taken on this huge cultural significance that I don't think they ever intended. But it is amazing to finally have that context, which has been one of my impetuses for doing the cultural blind spot segment. But these movie quotes, they really burrow into the culture and into our minds. So our conversation about cultural blind spots, I guess, inspired you to put it on there.
It did, because I was just thinking about, as we would talk about these movies, that mostly you're doing the heavy lifting on this topic, honestly. But thinking about the references or the quotes that come out of them, and there's a lot of great movie lines out there, right?
Yeah.
But then there's and we can go through a list and we can talk about some of them. I think you mentioned AFI even has a list of
100 years, 100 movie quotes. Yeah.
But I feel like there is also the lines that when you watched the movie, if you had the chance to see it, when it first came out, right? And so before it became a thing, I'll use the example of Field of Dreams. If you build it, he will come.
They will come, right?
I think what was whispered initially, and so this is what happens, is it changes. There's on the list that I see, because I looked it up, it says he will come, but it may be they will come.
Well, that's another one of those things where people misremember a line, and then it's imitated so much in culture and stuff that people have a false memory of the
Mandela
line.
effect.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other big one with that, by the way, is Luke, I am your father, which Darth Vader never says. He says, no, I am your father, which is a different, delivering a different line, but everybody remembers it as Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. In fact, I asked the kids, I was like, hey, what are some good movie lines that you remember? And Will was like, Luke, I am your father. And I'm like, that's not it.
Right.
That's not it. But yeah, I remember watching Field of Dreams, and I really loved that movie. I just thought it was so great. And what's his face's eyes? Who played the baseball player? Ray Liotta. I'm like, oh my God, those eyes, so cute. And I just loved it. And
who played the baseball player in Field of Dreams?
Come on.
They're all baseball players.
Okay, but the main guy, I think it was Ray Liotta.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Anyway, but I loved that. And for many
who played
people,
the minion?
Now you're just being mean.
I'm just kidding. That's what we do on this show.
I know. I totally know you are. And so I remember seeing it and just it hitting oh, this is a deep philosophical truth. If you build something, right? It was this very manifesting, build what you want to happen kind of a thing. And I know that that's not your way of thinking in your philosophy. You're much more of a practical guy. But that was just a moment for me. Another one is I remember seeing, I had the opportunity to see Jerry Maguire actually at the premiere of Jerry Maguire. And I remember the scene. A lot of people quote the "You complete me" line from that movie.
I thought people said the "show me the money" thing.
Well, so there's a few ones, right? There's the "show me the money," there's the "help me, help you." There's the "you complete me." But the one that I liked that melted my little female romantic heart was the "shut up, you had me at hello."
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. because like he comes in and
That'd be
he's
more
like
romantic
working the
than
room.
shut up.
Well, because like he comes swooping into the room and she's like at her sister's, like, bitter beer fest of women complaining about men.
Right.
And he gives this long speech and she is basically just like, shut up, you had me at hello. Like the fact that you showed up and you came back.
Yeah.
Like, so those are my two examples.
All right, those are good examples. You're right that Jerry Maguire, those quotes, I mean, especially "Show Me the Money" has gone on to be one of those things. And I've still never seen this movie. I typically don't watch sports-oriented movies, so it wouldn't have been necessarily on my radar so much. But it's one of those ones that's had an outsized impact that I feel like I almost need to put this on the list. So
yeah, you should actually watch it. I mean, I definitely am influenced by the fact that I had this very unique opportunity to see it at the premiere and that kind of thing. And absolutely you get swept away by like the Hollywood of it all.
Right.
However, I've seen it since and it's just
still holds up.
It does still hold
Right.
up. I mean, it's just still very enjoyable.
Yeah.
So
it's got a
highly
couple
recommend.
strikes against it in my book, which is baseball and Tom Cruise.
It's football.
Whatever. Sports and
Oh, whatever. It's a baseball movie or it's a football movie, Eric.
sports and Tom Cruise typically are not the stuff that I invest in.
And honestly, for that reason, I actually don't love admitting that I like the movie because Tom Cruise generally not a fan. But in this movie, his like bravado and everything, he played that character and then he became humbled and it really, I don't know, it worked.
Well, before I get to my favorite movie quote, I will say that You Had Me at Hello was at number 52 on the AFI 100 quotes from 100 years of movies list.
Okay.
So yeah, you're right there. That definitely that is one that people definitely think of and definitely quote. So
is the If You Build It one there?
I am looking. I am sure that just definitely seems like one that would be on here. There it is at number 39 from Field of Dreams.
Hey,
if you build it, he will come. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so is I'll Be Back from Terminator. That's at number 37.
There you go. I broke the top 50 and the back 52. So
yeah.
Okay, sorry, I keep interrupting. What is yours? Because we're like...
Yeah, we got to run here, unfortunately, because I would love to go through all these quotes because there's so many good ones, like Houston, we have a problem from Apollo 13, which is great at number 50. And that one, I happen to know that in real life, the line was, Houston, we've had a problem. And then they massaged it for the movie, which...
changes history.
It changes history. That totally Mandela affects real life. But okay, so I had a hard time coming up with this because there's so many great movies, so many great quotes. But one of my favorite movies of all time is RoboCop, the original movie RoboCop. And his great line is, "Dead or alive, you're coming with me." Which, he delivers perfectly. But honestly, it's another quote from that movie that makes me laugh to this day when I think about it. It's they have these interstitials of like a TV show that you'll see like on like people's TV sets, like in a convenience store or just in the background of a scene. And they have this like weird show with this guy whose catchphrase is, "I'd buy that for $1." and it's just used a few times in the movie, and it's just so apropos of nothing, but it's just hilarious. And it's just like a satire of really dumb TV.
Yeah.
And so I think of that all the time,
Like Willie Mays television.
Right, exactly. So there's so many things where people will say something and my response will just be, I'd buy that for $1. And
actually, I think you've said it to me before,
Yes.
and I don't think I knew the reference.
It's RoboCop.
Okay.
Which
okay.
I think that first movie is something of a masterpiece, even though it's pretty violent. So you got to have a tolerance for that. But it's funny. It's very smart. And it's got some great action in it, too. So it kind of covers all the bases for me.
All right. There you go. That's awesome. Okay. Well, this is kind of fun. So, hey, people out there listening to us, if you have a favorite movie line that you either use a lot or you I don't know, you mention it or you think of it or it was a life-changing movie moment for you, as you know, you can email us at asking at don'taskmetotalk.com, or you can, of course, text or leave a voicemail at our number, which is 475-999-2726. We would love to hear the movie quotes that you love, that you reference. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, and I would love any excuse to revisit this topic because I'd love to get into more of the AFI's choices for the 100 top quotes too.
Yeah,
But we'll do that on a future show.
Okay, let's do it. What are we going to do, though? Speaking of future shows, what are we going to do for next time?
Let's find out.
Maybe we'll get the same one as last week so we can do it next week.
Homework.
Oh, homework. What do we think of homework? Do we like it? Do we hate it? Is it necessary? Is it too much?
We never do it. When it comes to this show.
Well, I mean, and that might
we
be
always
enough
forget
said.
until like just before the episode starts on what we were going to talk about. So we rarely actually do the homework of researching stuff.
Yeah, well, it's still worth talking about.
Absolutely. Yes.
So,
yeah. I definitely could talk about my experiences as a kid, not doing homework.
Yeah,
but
exactly. Yeah. All right. Awesome. So let's talk about homework next time. And the good news is when you forget to do your homework, it will be absolutely the appropriate response to the show.
Absolutely. Yeah. And nobody's going to lose points on their grade for not doing the homework this week.
Nope. Not this time. Not today, Satan. Wonder what that's from.
Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Have a happy 4th, or we hope you had a happy 4th if you're listening afterwards.
Totally. And, be safe, be smart.
Absolutely. Take care, everybody. We love you. Thanks for listening.
Bye.